Gildan Media presents Your Coach in a Box, affordable, life-changing audio programs.
The Reinventors: How Extraordinary Companies Pursue Radical Continuous Change by Jason Jennings. Hello, I'm the author Jason Jennings, and I'm honored to be able to read my book for you. Let's begin with the introduction. I broke Thomas Wolfe's cardinal rule and went back home to the town where I grew up. I parked my rental car a block off Main Street, intending to wander through the downtown business district. I remember it being filled with bustling department and clothing stores, drugstores, restaurants, more barbershops and salons than you could count, crowded supermarkets, hardware centers, and insurance agencies. In fact, it was so jammed with cars and people, you had to look both ways before you stepped off the curb to avoid being run over. But as I turned the corner, I saw a ghost town, minus the tumbleweeds. Boarded-up buildings were covered with grime and graffiti. Parking meters were mere stumps, their heads lopped off in hopes that saving a quarter would cause shoppers to return. And there wasn't any place to buy anything. The only things left were a few little bars and a handful of antique and junk stores. As I walked, memories of the people I knew who had owned and operated the stores that lined the streets came flooding back. There were the Lowenstein sisters, who had owned the town's flagship department store. Leah, Rose, and Bertha had fought successfully like Patton battled the Germans to keep competitors from gaining ground on their turf, and they often swatted competitors away with the phrase, "There are already enough stores downtown, and we don't need any more." There was the town's favorite drugstore owner, Joe, who, when asked if he was planning on building a new store out on the highway, where some out-of-towners were constructing new stores, had replied, "No way. They're all going to go belly up, because nobody's going to drive all the way to the highway to shop." For the record, the highway is 5 blocks from downtown and has become the main shopping area. I also heard the voice of Tony the barber, whom I'd once asked if he wanted to grow his business and get bigger, and who'd replied, "I don't want any more business, and I don't want to grow. I'm happy with things just the way they are." I had liked and respected these people. They were business people, successful, smart, sophisticated, and I'd grown up thinking that they must have known something and must have had most of the right answers, or they wouldn't have been running a business. During my trip home, I asked around and heard the depressing last chapters of the Lowenstein sisters, our family druggist, the affable Tony, and all of their peers.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?